Welcome back to Temporal Directive, the Star Trek fan podcast, rewatching the entire franchise in chronological order. I'm Gary.
And I'm Tom.
And this week we're watching Star Trek Enterprise's Dawn. Star Trek, the ultimate franchise. These are the podcasts of the Wakefield brothers. Their 16-year mission to watch every production, to seek out life lessons and new inspirations, to boldly watch like most fans have watched before. Dawn. Annoying like the sister from Buffy.
I was just as soon as you said it, I was thinking, oh, Buffy. That's bad, isn't it?
Yeah, Buffy's getting a revival. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I did hear about that. I was actually talking to people at work about it yesterday. Yeah.
The new Slayer's even been cast.
Ah, really?
Sarah Michelle Gellar released a video on Instagram saying, "Will you be my chosen one? Welcome to New Sunnydale."
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is not a Buffy podcast, Tom.
It's very upsetting.
So let's talk about something else. How are you? What's been happening?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Not much, as always. Very exciting lives. It's just I've been looking after our sister's place, as you know, and she'll be back tomorrow. So today will be some cleaning of the house, not much because she left it in a mess and she can have it back in a mess.
Fair. Fair.
But all her animals are still alive, so I think I've done my job.
Well done. Well done. I started planning a trip to Adelaide.
Ah, right.
Yeah, for later in the year. There's a conference on called Better Together. It's an LGBTQIA plus conference, national conference. And I went a few years ago before I started working in this field. They do it every year and I haven't been since. And I thought, well, I should probably go. See what's new, see what's happening. But this year it's in Adelaide. Last time I went, it was in Melbourne. So I was looking at stuff going on in Adelaide at the same time because I was like, okay, well, I'll be there for a couple of days either side and whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
Supernova is on.
Why did I have a feeling you were going to say it? I was like, it'd be really good to go to Comic-Con. I mean, like Aussie Comic-Con, and it'd be really nice. Yeah, right.
Supernova is on the exact same days as the LGBT conference.
That'll be exact. Fuck, that's shit.
So the queer conference is Friday, Saturday. Supernova's Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Ah, right.
So I'm going to buy tickets to both for the full duration of both.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to look at the schedules for both and plan jumping across the city.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't both be at the convention centre on different floors.
That's right.
Or something.
Yeah, it couldn't have been like neighbours.
No.
Across the road at least.
No. Have to be on the other side of the city. Showgrounds and conference centre. So I'll be jumping in an Uber from one location to the other, back and forth, like Mrs. Doubtfire on 2 dates.
You're going to wear two different faces?
I might, yeah.
Wear a Klingon face to this one.
Yeah. Then accidentally walk into the queer conference in Klingon makeup. Kapla! Today is a good day to... Oh. Slay!
Oh, I love it.
We have Strange New World premiere date.
Oh, nice. Yay,
finally.
Yeah.
So we were expecting June.
Yeah.
It's actually going to be a month later, July 17th.
Right.
Which will be the 18th for Australia. The premiere will be a double episode.
Right, nice.
I don't know that means it's a two-parter to wrap up, to make it a three-parter overall. I think it's probably just they're airing 2 episodes because we've been waiting for so long.
That's fair.
And what that means for the podcast is that we will do extra episodes each week to talk about the new episodes as they air, because Strange New Worlds is so close to the time we're up to in the chronology, we're not going to do them again when we get up to them in the list.
Yeah, fair enough.
So we will do new episodes and we'll score them. And we will start a week earlier than the premiere, and we will do the season 2 finale.
Okay.
Because it's a part
It'll
1.
be part 1, yeah.
So we don't want to start recapping
part 2.
season 3 with a part 2 without talking about part 1 first. So we'll talk about part 1 a week before the premiere.
Yeah.
And then we will do each week, we'll do the new episodes.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. So more work for us. Well, more work for me. You will just come in and talk like you always do and leave all the work to me.
Make you do all the hard work. Yeah.
But that's fine. That's good. I'm excited to see the new episodes.
Yeah, it should be awesome.
Yeah. In other Trek news, the Wand Company, who make prop replicas, are finally starting to release in stages their long anticipated original series tricorder replicas.
Yes.
I've seen some videos of people receiving them. They look awesome.
Oh, they do.
I was on the wait list when the wait list was open. And so now I'm just waiting for my turn to come up to purchase one. And it's not usually the kind of thing I like. Well, it is. It's not usually the kind of thing I
would purchase.
Buy.
Yeah. Yeah, but at least this prop here is like it's hugely accurate and it actually does some fancy things as well.
It's cool.
Like it's a freaking awesome prop. Now this is the kind of prop that I would buy.
Yeah, you buy this sort of shit all the time.
Yeah. These things are definitely mine. There has been some replicas of Star Trek stuff that I have not purchased because they have been massively overpriced, because they have been releasing like phases and things in nice fancy boxes and stuff, but they're just so they produced a hyperspray, and it was hyperspray with 3 little vials.
Okay.
And it's one from Next Gen, so it's the Next Gen vial, and like it makes noises, everything. It looks really fucking awesome. But even on its release, it was something like $350, $400. And I'm like, it's this big. It goes, and it was not worth it. I'm like, it just, as much as it was awesome and whatever else, even I couldn't do it. Couldn't spend the money.
Fair enough. In more news, I saw on Trek Central yesterday afternoon that they have discovered there is a new, unannounced Star Trek series in development. The series is titled Star Trek Starfleet Scouts. It appears to be a family-friendly animated project. So apparently this one is going to be targeting younger children and will start with digital shorts that will air on YouTube for kids.
Oh, okay.
So there's not a lot of details because it's not an announced thing. And the information that they found came from the United States Patent and Trademark Office, and also some casting websites. So they've found that information and pieced it together. So it says it's a multimedia series featuring animation distributed via various platforms, and they're specifically requesting young actors and actresses for the YouTube series. So it's possible that they might do something on the Nick Jr. YouTube channel to get, as a base, and then move it to, Paramount Plus as a series later on if it's popular.
If it's popular,
yeah.
Fair enough.
Which is what they did apparently for a recent Disney Plus Star Wars.
I was going to say, it sounds very
thing.
Star Wars style sort of stuff to do.
Apparently it worked for them, so why not give it a shot? But yeah, it's for very young kids, not probably something that I would be super interested in. I even found Prodigy to be a bit of a struggle, to be honest.
Yeah.
But having said that, I want to give it a go because I know Janeway's in it, Chakotay's in it, I know the Doctor's in it.
Yeah, I got to go back to it too, especially for those reasons.
Yeah. But anyway. All right, let's get into this week's episode.
Righto.
So this week we're watching Enterprise's Dawn, written by John Shaban, who had come from working on The X-Files and previously wrote the episode Minefield, which was also directed by Roxanne Dawson, B'Elanna Torres, who directed this episode. This is her 3rd directing job on Enterprise, and this is the first episode of 2003, airing on January the 8th.
Oh.
The IMDb synopsis reads... Trip's shuttle pod is shot down by a hostile race and is forced to land on a deserted moon. There, he must team up with the alien who shot him down in order to find a way back to Enterprise.
Oh, okay.
Let's go watch it.
Righto.
And we're back from watching Dawn. Well, Tom, first thoughts. What did you think?
Well, it was predictable, been done, and not great.
Yes. I agree.
Yeah.
Team Udarmok.
Yes. Yes. That's pretty much it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
With more violence.
Yeah. Unnecessary violence. Just stupid.
Seems to be Enterprise's thing is just fight.
Yeah.
Fight. Everyone fight.
Pretty much.
All right. Let's get into it. This will probably be a quick one again.
Yep. I'd say so.
Because not much happened.
No, not much happened, and there was. I'm gonna try. No, I'm not gonna say that because I'm not gonna. I was gonna say I'm gonna try and not be as negative, but I just can't.
Maybe next week. Maybe next week will be the week where you're not so negative.
Okay. He's hoping.
This week I think it's appropriate.
Yeah. Oh fuck.
We open on a shuttle pod flying around some moons.
Yeah.
Trip is inside and he's recording a chief engineer's log talking about testing the autopilot upgrades.
Literally saying that if this goes well, we're not going to need any pilots. You're like, okay.
Then he gets a hail from Archer who says that there's some company coming in. The sensors are picking up a small fizzle crackle is what it says here.
Fizzle crackle. It's snap, crackle, and pop, Gary.
Oh, sorry. But there's some interference because of the gravitational, I don't know, what do they say? Some sort of magnetic things coming out of the moons.
Yeah.
Isotopes.
Yeah.
Selenium isotopes. There you go.
Fancy.
So the captain says there's a small vessel approaching. Then the comm cuts off.
Yeah.
Trip dashes over to the pilot seat because he was in the back of the shuttle pod. And he sees a ship heading towards him. And he opens the comm and says, "This is Commander Charles Tucker."
Yeah.
And the ship fires at him.
Yep. So.
And then he hails Enterprise saying, "Mayday, I'm losing power. Mayday, if you can hear me, I'm going to land on the moon." And then wishes he had a flesh and blood pilot right now.
Yeah.
Because apparently he doesn't know how to fly a ship.
Yeah. Like it's a shuttle, for Christ's sakes. Like it's, everybody probably knows how to actually pilot
Plus
a shuttle.
you're testing the autopilot.
Yeah. Like if you're the one that's in there, you probably want to know how to fucking pilot a shuttle.
I think he knows how to pilot a shuttle.
Yeah.
Anyway, we skip the credits. We cut to the bridge. They're trying to establish communication with Trip. Reed says he detected weapons fire and then both the ships just disappeared. He says that their last known positions were around 50,000 kilometers, bearing 003 Mark 27. He thinks, but he can't be more specific because of the damned interference.
The damned interference. You damn dirty interference.
And Paul says many of the moon's atmospheres contain selenium isotopes, which is what is most likely affecting the sensors. Archer says Trip's a good pilot, despite Trip saying he wish he had a pilot. Anyway, he says that he probably sat down on one of the moons. How many are there? And T'Pol says 62. Not a big job.
No, it'll be fine. Do that in a weekend.
Yep. And Archer says, then we better start looking. We'll scan every moon, even if we have to do it with binoculars.
Could you just imagine the entire crew that they've got out the windows?
Out the windows with binoculars.
Yeah, with binoculars. All right, we're passing. Everybody out the left. Everybody out the left.
We cut to the shuttle pod having crash landed on the moon. Trip is trying to check the damage and whatever else. He opens the hatch. He comes out into the night and he can hear insects chirping. There's a rock and a dead tree. It's all very exciting.
Yes.
And then he goes back inside to tend to his scratches and starts chief engineer's log to record what's going on. He says he was attacked. He didn't know what he did to provoke him, but something in the atmosphere neutralized the engines, so he had to make an emergency landing. Main power's offline, and he doesn't think that he'll be able to get the ship up and running. But he's going to try to get the transceiver working.
She has bits and pieces out scattered around in front of him.
Yes. So he's outside now next to a campfire that he's got up and running, and he blows something up in the transceiver that he's working on. And then there's a noise out in the shrubs, and he leaves the transceiver to go and investigate what that is. He's got a torch and a pipe or a metal bar or something. Then suddenly he's getting shot at, and he falls to the ground, and this big alien dude comes out and starts yelling and screaming at him in some other language. Trip dives into the shuttle pod for cover, closes the hatch, looks out the window to the campfire, and sees that his transceiver's been stolen.
Surprise, surprise.
Yep.
I mean, I suppose that's what you do, isn't it? Run away and not get shot at.
Well, I wouldn't want to get shot.
Yeah, like, into the box.
Yeah.
But still.
Goodbye, transceiver.
Yeah, that's right.
We cut to the bridge. One of the alien ships have arrived, a bigger one, not a little scout or whatever it was.
A mothership.
Yes, a mothership. Right, Independence Day much. And Archer asks T'Pol if she knows who they are, and she says it's an Arconian military vessel. She says she hasn't dealt with them, but she's aware of their reputation, and that if we're in their territory, we should proceed with extreme caution. Who she says are hailing. So they're talking to the captain of the other ship, and he says that the Enterprise is unauthorized to be there and that they must leave immediately. The alien introduces himself. I'm not going to try to pronounce it in Arconian. And he says he has orders to destroy any vessel that violates our territory.
Then why am I still talking to you?
Yeah. Out-logicked. Archer introduces himself and says that they weren't aware that the system was claimed by anyone. The alien says, "Why is there a Vulcan on your bridge?" That's my science officer.
Yeah.
Chill, dude.
Sorry.
Archer says that they've got a missing crewman and there was some weapons fire, and asks if it was one of their ships. And he says that they did send a patrol ship to intercept the shuttle, but they've lost contact. So Archer proposes that they work together to find the missing crew members and the ships, because we've got 2 missing people and 62 moons. The sooner we get started, the sooner we'll be out of your territory. And then there's a super sharp cut.
Yep, just gone.
So we have no idea if he says yes or no. We're just done.
Yep.
And we cut down to the moon. Trip has gone out looking for the alien, and he locates the alien pod and another campfire, and he half slides down this little gravelly bit.
Yeah, at exactly the right time. It was perfectly timed.
Yep. And there's just a red light
Little laser beam.
sensor, like tripwire sensor thing.
Yep.
That he just happens to slide under.
Yeah. And the dust cloud from the dirt just picks up enough to show him the laser beam.
Yep.
Yeah, and you're like, oh.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So lucky.
Yeah. Perfectly timed slide fall.
He gets up and goes back to his shuttle pod, and we fade to him doing some work next to his campfire. And I assume he's recording a log or he's talking to himself.
Yeah.
One or the other. But he's saying that he recognizes the shuttlecraft as the ship that shot at him, and it seems that whatever knocked out his engines did the same to the other guys, and that he wished he had brought a universal translator along so that he could explain to this guy that he was trying to get out like he is. And that's when you and I talked about, when we were watching it, no universal translator, no communicator, and no phaser,
no phaser,
no anything.
Yeah, no, nothing. None of
like,
these.
Wouldn't this be standard procedure to grab those things as you leave the ship?
Yeah, exactly. Even though he was just doing testing the autopilot, when you get into a shuttle and you're leaving the ship, these should be standard equipment pieces that go with you.
You would think so. You would think so.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely.
You leave the ship, you take a communication device, and you take a weapon.
Yeah, and a scanner, and a tricorder. Yeah, these are just standard things when you're not on the ship.
You would think so.
They're all portable devices. You can fit in your pocket, take them with you.
For a reason.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Jesus.
We cut to the alien campfire. The alien pilot is struggling with the stolen transceiver and can't figure out how to fix it. Because
it's an alien one.
Then he hears Trip's voice coming from the woods behind him.
Yeah.
And so the alien leaves his camp to go and find the voice. We hear Trip's voice. Mary had a little lamb. And Trip is actually in the alien camp area trying to get the transceiver back, and he's recorded his voice and put it up in a tree. Alien discovers that and rushes back to the camp, and Trip goes to hide because the alien sets off his own alarm. Yep. So Trip hides, the alien comes down, Trip kicks the gun out of the alien's hand. They wrestle. Trip grabs the gun and points it at him and says, "Now maybe we can introduce ourselves."
Yep.
The alien says something in alien. And Trip says that he just wants the transceiver back. The alien says something and then manages to trip over onto the ground. He grabs the gun and shoots him. And we cut to commercial.
Yeah.
We come back and the alien is still trying to work on the transceiver. Trip is unconscious and tied up.
Yeah, his hands are tied at the front.
Yeah. So the alien walks over to Trip and kicks him till he wakes up. And Trip, as he wakes up, says, "I'm no good until I've had my coffee." I'm like, same girl, same.
Fully agree with that statement.
The alien pulls him up onto his feet and gestures towards the equipment. They yell at each other. Trip just keeps saying that it's broken, that I was trying to fix it before you stole it. The alien's trying to ask Trip to fix the transceiver in his language, and Trip just doesn't understand it, so they just start yelling at each other.
Keep going back and forth for a while.
And eventually he says, "You need to untie my hand so that I can actually do something." And the alien says something softly and threateningly, and Trip's like, "Okay, I get it. I try anything and I'm a dead man. Okay, I understand." Alien unties his wrists, and we cut to the ready room on the Enterprise. T'Pol walks in. Archer asks if there's been any progress. T'Pol says that we've searched 5 of the moons, no Commander Tucker or the Arconian ship. And Archer asks if the Arconians have had any better progress, and she says, "Nope, they're still looking too." He asks about why there is bad blood between the Arconians and the Vulcans, and T'Pol says that they made first contact nearly 100 years ago, so not around the same time as Earth, really.
Yeah.
And while Earth was open to the Vulcan guidance and cultural exchanges, the Arconians were suspicious and deceitful, and the Vulcans eventually gave up and left.
That's fair.
Totally fair.
You would almost think that when you're like, I'm surprised even humans let the Vulcans stay around like they did, because they were pretty meddling, and you'd be like, just fuck off and let us do our thing.
We cut back to the alien campfire. There's a little bit of light starting to appear, so Trip can turn off his torch.
He plays around with a little machine, and he asks for some water. The alien throws him a little canister thing, and he takes a sip of it, and it's this alien drink. It's not water at all. So he spits it out and throws it back onto the ground. It spills out, and he freaks out, going like it's some precious fucking liquid. And Trip's like, "I can't drink this shit. This is crap. I need to go to my ship and get water." That's that scene, right?
Pretty much. Then it fades to a little bit later. Trip is stripped down to a singlet, and he's still trying to fix a thing. He does something, and he ends up cutting his own arm. And he says, "There's a med kit in my shuttlecraft," but the alien sprays some saliva onto the cut, and it heals quickly.
Instantly.
Yeah. So the alien's like, "Okay, like gestures, get back to work. Like, I fixed you. What's your problem?
Done. It was nothing. Go for it.
Yeah.
Top end of whitey human.
Trip tries to get the alien to come over to the ship to show him something, and eventually he does, and he sprays the alien with some coolant or whatever the fuck comes out of that hose.
Yeah.
Then they get into another fight.
Yeah. Fighty, grabs the gun, says, now you're coming with me, and they go back to Trip's ship.
Yeah, well, we don't see them go back to the Trip's ship, but they head off on that way, and then we cut to the bridge.
Right.
Archer and T'Pol are looking at something. T'Pol says it's a thermokinetic analysis of the moons.
That was so.
And just says that there's extreme temperature variations during the orbits, that it's going to be very cold, and when the day starts, it's going to get very hot.
Now, I can't remember in the original series, whenever we looked through the visor, did we look through Spock's visor thing and see what he was seeing every now and then?
Yes.
And was it random shit like that?
Yes.
Okay, right. Why do I not remember that? Maybe I filled it with some logical shit.
I'm sure it made sense.
Yeah,
in some capacity.
Because this thing made no fucking sense at all. It was bounced on little round bauble thingies, and you're like, what the fuck? Or not baubles.
What were you looking at?
It wasn't baubles.
It's not a Christmas tree.
It wasn't baubles. It was just round fucking figure thingies, and I'm like, and they were moving in odd ways. It was just fucked. Anyway.
Do you do a lot of thermokinetic analysis of extreme temperatures and gravitational pulls of selenium isotopes on moons in outer space, Tom?
Yes.
Oh. It's good. We cut back to the moon where at Trip's campfire now. He is tying up the alien. He finds some water and has a big drink. He tries to give the alien some food, but he spits it out.
Surprisingly. I mean, if he can't have the water, he's probably not going to be eating the food.
That's it. And then he decides that the best thing to do is for us to take the transceiver up the hill because the interference is coming from the rocks.
Yes.
So if we can get up, we should be able to get a signal out.
Yes. Some fancy magnetic field instead of just a regular magnetic field.
Trip throws the gun away and unties the alien.
Saying, we need to work together to get up the hill.
Then they fight.
Yep. Big fight.
A lot of fight.
Yeah, bruising and actual meant to be fighting. And yeah.
Wrestle, and I think that's when I said to you, would they just make out already?
Once it got to the end of the fight and they're starting to lose their energy and they're
they're just sort of play fighting
and lightly punching each other or lightly tapping each other.
Oh, don't hit me! Oh, hit me again!
The mud is in my eye.
Make out already! Fuck!
Ooh,
we already know this is your thing, Trip. You find an alien,
you bang them,
you get angry at them, you argue with them constantly. Then you get into a play fight, and then you have sex with them.
Yeah,
this is your MO.
Yeah, it's just exactly what happens pretty much every time. Sometimes he even gets pregnant.
Exactly. So just get it over with. I'm sick of looking at it. So they stop fighting. Then we see them grabbing the equipment, and they start hiking up the hill.
Yeah.
We cut to the bridge. And Hoshi says that they're picking up a transmission. Archer says, is it Trip?
And this was so...
Who the fuck else do you think it would be?
That's it. We've been in this system forever looking for one person. There's clearly no one else in this system. And we're getting a signal. Who do you fucking think it is, Captain? I mean, let me check.
It's Zoltar. He has your fortune. We cut back to the moon surface. They're up the hill. Trip's now doing a Kirk and has taken his shirt off.
Yep.
And he's recording another log. He says it's been 2 hours since they started signaling the Enterprise and they haven't had a response yet. He said it's hotter than hell. The alien dude doesn't look so good. Nope. I don't think the species can sweat. They're watching the sun starting to rise. There's hardly any water left. He helps the alien unscrew his bottle so he can have the last of his drink. He tells the alien not to die. Don't die on me now, understand? And then Hoshi comes over the transmitter.
Yeah.
Trip says, you're just in time. It's starting to get a little hot down here. And Archer says we're going to get a lock on your position. Trip says don't send a shuttlepod because they're going to crash if you do because of the selenium isotopes. But the transporter should work. Trip says, I'm not alone, Captain. Archer says, we know the Arconians helped us find you. How are you and their pilot getting along? Trip says, just like old friends.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I'm a little worried, though. He's gotten very dehydrated. Back on the bridge, Archer says to prepare the transporter. Dr. Flock says, I wouldn't do that.
I liked the camera here because
Sorry,
there was very serious camera movements and stuff in this. Like Dr. Flock's done that sort of slow turn and like, I wouldn't do that, Captain. And the camera just panned in. Like, it was very dramatic.
Well, Flock says, this is very important information here. I've been analysing the Arconians' physiology. Their endocrine system is extremely sensitive to temperature fluctuations. If that pilot is suffering from dehydration, it's no doubt causing an acute cellular breakdown, meaning transporting him will most likely be fatal. Bum, bum, bum.
That makes no fucking sense.
Do I need to read it again to you?
No.
The endocrine system is extremely sensitive to temperature fluctuations. So they can't transport him.
Yeah, I heard it.
Except they could transport him into a heated room.
Yes.
That would then slowly acclimate.
Yes, exactly. That's right.
But never mind that.
No, that's right.
We cut back to the surface of the moon. Archer is telling Trip that we can't transport the Arconian because it'll kill him. So we're just going to transport you up. And Trip says, nah, no, I'm not leaving him here. Can't do that. We're in this together. You jump, I jump.
Yeah, that's it.
He's Jack and Rose in Titanic.
That's what I was going to say. Jack.
So he just flat out refuses. He says that maybe the Arconians can adjust their intake manifolds to filter out the isotopes, which would mean that they can enter the atmosphere.
Yeah, because he got a look at one and was able to figure that out.
Yeah. So Archer says, we'll talk to them, but I won't let you stay down there much longer.
Yeah, because of the heat.
At this point, they could have beamed down some things to help with the heat.
Exactly right.
But they didn't send down anything.
No.
They didn't beam down anything.
No, even just an umbrella and some more water and some of the fluid for the other guy who's dehydrated. Like send down a fucking bottle of his liquid that he drinks. Like they know the Arconians. They can just get some from them and beam it down to him. But no, let's just let him like cook
sit in the sun for another couple of hours.
Yeah.
Yep. We come back to a little bit later. Trip is like visibly got sweat pouring off him.
Yep.
Trip has a drink of water. He pours a little bit of water on the alien's face to try to get him to wake up a little bit. And then he starts a monologue of him about to die, about how amazing it has been to be on the Enterprise.
First he says that he's going to be demoted, which made no sense.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know why he would. Yeah.
But anyway.
I wouldn't be surprised if he knocked me down to steward.
Yeah.
Why? But why? I don't know why he would do that.
No, it was
for doing your job.
Yeah, for doing your job
and crash landing.
Getting fired at by another alien species and crash landing on a planet means you're going to be demoted.
Demoted.
That's it.
Ridiculous.
How dare you? Like
ridiculous.
What the fuck?
Then he talks about the last couple of aliens he banged before this one. I spent the night with the princess. I got pregnant once. Just bragging about all these fucking Kirk moves.
Well, he's sitting there shirtless, you know.
See? Yeah, post-coitus. As I would say on the Big Bang Theory.
Just needed to pack a cigarette hanging out his mouth.
Exactly. He collapses down and it looks like he's about to pass out, and then he notices something in the glare of the suns and
shimmering in the distance.
You can see a ship starting to come in. Then we cut to the ready room on the Enterprise. T'Pol and the alien captain walk in. Archer says that I just got a report from my doctor that your pilot's responding well. He'll be ready to go home in a few hours. Now, if the alien ship picked them up, why would they go to Enterprise?
Exactly. It does make no sense.
Why wouldn't, and if they did go to Enterprise, why wouldn't they just drop Trip off and then take their crew member back to their ship for their medical officer?
Exactly. Absolutely.
It makes no fucking sense at all.
None whatsoever.
And then T'Pol gives Archer a compliment about how he's been able to establish better relations with the Arconians. Boring. We cut to sickbay. Trip enters sickbay.
asks how his mate's doing. The doctor
Yeah,
says
ask
the
how
universal translator's online, so ask him yourself.
Yep.
So he does. And he gets back, what is it?
Tarat Takash.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. And Trip's like, what?
I
Like,
thought you said it was working.
and he's like, you owe me a bottle of,
Tarat Takash.
yeah. And he's like,
Oh, the brown stuff you were drinking.
Yeah.
Would you like to stay for dinner? We're having chicken marsala. In other words, I'd like a second date after you've had a shower.
That's right. That's it. Now that you're all cleaned up,
Let's go for round two.
I can actually bang you happily.
The alien says, Trip, when I fired at your vessel, I'm grateful I didn't destroy it. And Trip says, that makes two of us. And then the ships fly off into the distance, and that's the end.
Which just,
Well,
it was just shit.
final thoughts, Tom? Well, that was it. It was just shit.
It was just shit. It was just crap, right? Like, yeah, I mean, like, I think it would have been better if, like, when they had that interaction in the sick bay, even, like, if they had a little bit more of a little bit of emotional connection, and there was an actual.
But how could they have emotional connection? Nothing happened on the planet.
No, I know, but
They just sat there and died together.
Well, yeah, I suppose. But I mean, I don't mean so much as like a heavily emotional. I just mean like a little bit more of a friendship thing happen. Like, you know, like I know we beat the crap out of each other a little bit, but then we worked together, and you know, I was gonna die, and we're not, and we're all good. Like a little bit more of a, you know, isn't life funny sort of a moment with each other.
Okay.
You know, anything
Yeah,
other than just
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, other than
I don't think it would have made a
nothing.
difference. I still think it would have been a shit episode.
Well, yes, but that would have been at least something out of it. You know what I mean? Out of what happened. But they didn't even have that. Like
I think they did their bro version of that.
Yeah, well, I suppose
That's their bro version. Like,
well, whoever wrote
you
it.
owe me a drink. Well, okay, I'll get you your drink. Do you want to stay for dinner? Yeah, mate. Done. That's how men talk.
You're not fully wrong.
No, I know I'm not wrong.
It's not how all men talk, but it is how a lot of men talk.
That's why I said it's a bro.
Yeah.
It's a bro finish.
Yeah. Yeah, well.
Just like Trip on the Surface gave him a bro job.
Why did that sound so wrong?
No homo.
Fucking hell.
What's the life lesson in this one, Tom?
Never trust someone who shot you down. Because, you know, he kept shooting him back down again.
I'm not sure that's the life lesson.
No? Have a better right hook?
In times of distress, try to find common ground. To work together with people that are different from you.
Yeah, sure.
To achieve better outcomes for all. Put aside your differences.
Are you reading a poster behind me or something?
No. Put aside your differences and work together for the greater good.
Yep, sounds good. Let's go with that.
Right. Okay, good. All right. IMDb ratings, I guess. Our examples of one episodes are Voyager's Threshold and Enterprise's Precious Cargo. Our examples of 10 episodes are Next Gen's Tapestry and Deep Space Nine's Far Beyond the Stars. Oh my God, I can't wait to get to those. With those in mind, what would you rate this episode, Tom?
2 at most. At most. At most. And I'm only giving it a 2 because the premise is sort of like it's a common one, but it's common for a reason, isn't it? Like, this is the kind of thing you will come across when you're dealing with aliens. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be stranded, you know, so you can't sort of leave it out in a way because this kind of shit's going to happen. But that's the only reason it gets more than a 1.
All right. 2 it is. Well, that was it for this week. Disappointing week. Hopefully next week's better. But anyway, if you want to tell us what you thought of this episode or Star Trek Enterprise or just Star Trek in general, please reach out and get in touch. We'd love to hear from you. You can find us on Facebook at Temporal Directive Podcast and Instagram, just Temporal Directive. or you can email us at wakefield_productions@outlook.com. We'll be back next week with the episode Stigma. Live long and prosper.
Peace and long life.